very good afternoon. It's the 18th of April 2023. Welcome to the lunchtime news here on TV1. For the News First team, I'm Senanaka. Before we take a look at the stories that we've got for you this afternoon in detail, let's take a look at the headlines.
No more musical shows, political meetings and mass gatherings at Goreface Green. Electricity, petroleum, postal and health services declared as essential services. SemiLuxury Bus Services to be terminated from May 2023. Revised fuel quota to remain unchanged. Sri Lanka have enforced the follow-on after bowling Ireland out for 143.
On to those stories in detail. Sri Lanka's Cabinet of Ministers have decided that Goreface Green will only be used as a site for the public to spend their time in an undisturbed manner. Cabinet spokesperson and Minister Bandula Gunawardena noted that with effect from Thursday, Goreface Green will not be made available for any musical event, political meetings or other mass gatherings except for religious events.
වරාය නාවිකා ගුවන් සේවා අමාත්‍යතුමා කැබිනට් පත්‍රිකාවක් ඉදිරිපත් කළා.
The Minister of Ports and Airports presented a cabinet paper. The Sri Lanka Ports Authority as a CSR project would renovate and develop Goreface Green as a site for people to spend their time undisturbed. Goreface Green existed as a site where one can remain without fear. In the recent past, due to musical shows, fun festivals and Aragalaya, the Goreface Green experienced massive damage. Sri Lanka Ports Authority has taken up the task of developing Goreface Green as a CSR project at a cost of 220 million rupees. As that the people can spend their time freely. After the 20th of April, Goreface Green will only be used for such purposes and for special religious events. No other event will be allowed on Goreface Green. Therefore, Cabinet decided that Goreface Green will not be made available for any musical festival, political meetings or other mass gatherings except for religious events.
කටයුතු සඳහා හැර වෙනත් කිසිදු කටයුත්තකට ගාලු මුහුදර පිටිය භාවිතා කිරීමට ඉඩ නොදෙන්නත් කැබිනට් පත්‍රිකාවකින් අනුමැතිය ඉල්ලා සිටියා. එහි සුන්දරත්වයට හානි වන හෝ හානි කළ හැකි සංගීත සංදර්ශන, දේශපාලන රැස්වීම් හෝ වෙනත් කටයුතු සඳහා ගාලු මුහුදර පිටිය භාවිතා කිරීමට අවසර ලබා නොදීමට කැබිනට් මණ්ඩලය තීරණය කළා.
Questions were also raised over the New Year festival organized by the President's office that is scheduled to take place at Goreface Green on the 22nd of April.
There was no discussion about a New Year festival. The Cabinet decided that Goreface Green will not be made available for any musical festivals, political meetings or other mass gatherings except for religious events.
මේ චීනයට රිලව් මේ ලංකාවේ රිලව් යවනවා කියන කාරණාව පිළිබඳව දැන් කතා බහක් ඇති වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒකේ කොහොමද තත්ත්වය ගැන කැබිනට් එකේ කතා බහ වුණාද?
චීන රජයෙන් ලංකා ආණ්ඩුව අතර රිලව් ගණදිනුවක් පිළිබඳව කිසිම සාකච්ඡාවක් ඇති වෙලා නැහැ.
There is no discussion between the governments of Sri Lanka and China over the matter. A private company in China has approached the agriculture minister seeking monkeys for 1,000 zoos in China. A proposal was put forward. The minister has appointed a committee with the other relevant stakeholders and will inform the cabinet on the possibility of engaging in such a transaction. One cannot exchange animals freely between two nations. China has strong legislation on the matter. There is no process of sending live animals for meat as claimed by the media. We do not approve such acts.
ප්‍රකාශ කරන ආකාරයට ජීවී සතුන් පඳ පිටින් මස් සඳහායි වෙල්ල එහෙම යවන ක්‍රමවේදයක් එහෙම ඒ වගේ දේවල් වලට රජවල් අනුමැතිය ලබා දෙන්නේ නැහැ.
දුම්රිය පීලි චීනයෙන් ලංකාවට ගෙන්වීමේ කතා බහකුත් පසුගිය දවසක ඇති වුණා.
දීර්ඝ කාලික පටන් ලංකාවේ දුම්රිය සඳහා අවශ්‍ය කරන පීලි නොමැතිකමේ ගැටලුව.
Sri Lanka's railway system was short of railway tracks for some time. We need to import railway tracks and it would cost us a lot of dollars. We were unable to import them. Cabinet had granted approval to import 10,000 tracks and the procurement process was followed.
අපි පීලි දසදහසක් පමණ ආනයනය කරන්න කැබිනට් අනුමැතිය ලබාගෙන ඒ ප්‍රසම්පාදන ක්‍රියාපිළිවෙල ගියා. ඒ මොකුත් ප්‍රශ්නයක් තිබෙන බව මට වාර්තා වෙලා නැහැ.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe has issued an extraordinary gazette declaring multiple services as essential services.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe has issued an extraordinary gazette declaring the following services as essential services. All services connected to the supply of electricity, the supply or distribution of petroleum products and fuel, postal service, all service, work or labour of any description whatsoever necessary or required to be done in connection with the maintenance and the reception, care feeding and treatment of patients in hospitals, nursing homes, dispensaries and other similar institutions.
The Ceylon Petroleum Corporation announced on Tuesday the revised fuel quota will be in effect for another week.
Mohammed Uwais Mohammed, the chairman of the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation, said the fuel consumption for the period when the quota was increased will be analysed to determine if the revised fuel quota will be implemented for the future as well. He said that no decision was made to revise the increased fuel quota. On the 4th of April, the Ministry of Power and Energy decided to increase the fuel quota for vehicles. The fuel quota was increased to 8 litres for 3-wheelers and 7 litres for motorcycles. The fuel quota for buses was increased from 40 litres to 60 litres. The fuel quota for cars was increased to 30 litres and the fuel quota for land vehicles was increased to 25 litres. The fuel quota for lorries was increased to 75 litres, while the fuel quota for vans and special purpose vehicles was increased to 30 litres.
The National Transport Commission said that the existing semi-luxury bus service will cease operations from May 2023.
Director General of the National Transport Commission, Commander, retired Dr. Nilan Miranda, told Newsfirst that the semi-luxury bus service will be converted to a normal service or a luxury service. He said the owners of the semi-luxury bus service have already been informed about terminating the service.
Semi-luxury bus services can convert their service to a normal service or luxury service until the 31st of May without any additional charge. There are over 400 private semi-luxury coaches in Sri Lanka. We have received requests from a majority of them to amend the service. We have also informed the same to the Sri Lanka Transport Board as well.
The State Minister of Finance, Shehan Singh, spoke at the 2023 ECOSOC Financing for Development Forum in New York and highlighted the urgent need for action to achieve the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development.
I now welcome
the 2023 United Nations Economic and Social Council Financing for Development Forum in New York aims to provide a platform for dialogue and policy development to address these challenges and promote long-term sustainable development. The State Minister of Finance Shehan Singh spoke at the forum and highlighted the urgent need for action to achieve the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. He emphasized the challenges faced by developing countries in financing development, especially in the face of crises like the pandemic, conflicts and climate change. The State Minister added the debt problems faced by many developing countries, including Sri Lanka, and the need for debt relief and restructuring. Despite these challenges, he expressed optimism and a commitment to making hard policy decisions to restore the economy and accelerate sustainable industrial transformations. The forum is an opportunity to forge partnerships and cooperation to achieve these goals.
The Police Special Task Force has arrested a suspect for the possession of Kerala cannabis.
The raid was carried out based on a tip-off received by the Gonahena STF base. A team led by Police Inspector HPMSK Veerakodi raided a house in Gonahena, Vabuda. A 41-year-old suspect was arrested with 41 grams of Kerala cannabis, 14,000 rupees and a mobile phone.
A student from the Kattimana Mahavidyalaya in the Kuliyapiti educational zone has been hospitalized following a wasp attack.
The wasp attack took place when the student had disturbed the wasp nest in a tree in the school premises. According to Newsfirst correspondents, teachers, students and parents were affected by the wasp attack and one student was hospitalized. The principal had decided to close the school temporarily owing to the incident.
The human-elephant conflict continues to affect the people of rural Sri Lanka, despite attention being drawn to it continuously by reports.
A house was attacked by encroaching wild elephants in Madhegama, Navagathegama. Despite there being no casualties in the incident, the house was destroyed. Local residents allege that elephants encroached the village in the evening and caused severe damage to plantations. The coconut farmers of the Samaneliya village in the Thamuttekama Divisional Secretariat also face the looming issue of wild elephant encroachment. Coconut farmers have been suffering from the impending worry of wild elephants for years, and their attempts to save their cultivations prove futile every day. The wild elephants that roam the villages in the dark from the Galvihara Reserve wreck the plantations in the area, depriving the people of rural Sri Lanka of their livelihoods.
Farmers in some villages in Ratnapura have been severely inconvenienced due to monkeys destroying their crops and cultivation.
Farmers from several villages in Ratnapura allege that they find it difficult to maintain their plantations due to the monkey menace in the area. Due to this, the farmers of Kahavatta, Madampe, Godakavela, Niyagama, Rangwala, Bibilegama, Valkenia villages have been severely affected.
There's a lot of coconuts, enough to feed the entire nation if needed, but because of monkeys, there isn't much left.
Even if we go now, we can see how the monkeys have eaten almost 500 king coconuts. This is a nuisance for us all.
We would like a solution to this in whatever means necessary, even if it means taking them away.
Water is a basic necessity of any life. However, access to clean drinking water is a problem for many people in the country. The following report is from Akurasa.
The Puhulahena Primary School in Akurasa consists of 47 students studying amidst many hardships. Their school has only one building which is in a dilapidated condition. The main issue they face is the lack of access to clean drinking water. According to our correspondent, these children do not have sufficient water for drinking or sanitary purposes.
News first with the people.
In more local news, a woman was stabbed and killed inside a house in Mahakanadaraba, Anuradhapura.
Crime Watch.
The body of a 63-year-old woman was discovered from a house in Aliaya, 2 in Mahakanadaraba on Monday. The deceased was identified as Tikiribandage Chandravati, a mother of 2. When her daughter had visited the house last evening, she found her mother on the kitchen floor with stab wounds. One person was arrested in connection to the murder, and investigations are underway.
Crime Watch.
Finally, in your sports news, Sri Lanka have enforced the follow-on after bowling Ireland out for 143, courtesy of Prabhat Jayasuriya 7 for 52 on day 3 of the first test match in Galle. At lunch, Ireland were 41 runs for the loss of 5 wickets in their second innings and trail by 407 runs.
Sri Lanka declared on 591 for 6 and deepened Ireland's distress by reducing the visitor to 117 for 7 after 2 days of the first test on Monday. On Tuesday, the Irish innings was restricted to 143 and they were forced to follow on.
Good fielding, oh, he's getting a catch. Coming in, tossed up, gets an...
Now then, they're all like this, and how close is that? How close is that? Come on, that was...
Lorcan Tucker was the top scorer with 45 runs. Prabhat Jayasuriya picked up 7 wickets for 52 runs and Vishwa Fernando 2 wickets for 38 runs. Accordingly, to avoid losing by an innings, Ireland commenced the follow-on trailing by 448 runs.
Oh, taken. Very good catch. It's a sharp one. It's Balbirnie who has to go. Then get 6 runs.
And that brings us to the end of this edition of Lunchtime News here on TV1. For the News First team, I've been Sanita Senanayaka. Take care and stay safe.